Hello, bonjour, and bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Nompumelelo Riel Kunene. I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in a chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from today's podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on resilience to greatness. In Duarte, California, we have Joanna Clear. In Melbourne, Australia, we have Jake Fowler. And in Perth, Western Australia, we have Tracy Cook. At this moment, I'll let our speakers introduce themselves. So you can go ahead, Joanna. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Joanna.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Hi, my name is Joanna. It is so great to be here with you guys today. I am a transformational life coach as well as a transformational motivational speaker. I am 50 years old and I'm heading towards my second career. I am a grocery worker, a frontline worker for 31 years. A couple years ago, I decided to go into life coaching and take a 6-month course and start from scratch all over again. And I'm really excited to be here today with everybody.
You could go ahead, Jake.
Hello everyone, good afternoon from Melbourne, Australia, but that is not where I'm originally from. As you can tell, I have an English accent. I'm 32 years old. I used to be a plumber for 15 years. I recently transitioned last September into a full-time entrepreneur. I have various online businesses. I have a podcast called Hunger for the Hustle, which I thoroughly enjoy. I interview business owners and entrepreneurs on their journey and experience. And I'm working on a couple of books. And of course, I enjoy speaking. And that's why I'm here today. And thank you for the opportunity.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tracy Cook, and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. I'm a mid-century wife, mum, and nana. And I enjoy motivational speaking. I'm a master NLP coach and life coach. I love taking people from victim to victory. I also have a podcast series called Victim to Victory, where I share people's real life stories of where they've been, how they've overcome, and how they've come out the other side to go on to empower and support other people. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak with all these amazing people. And thank you for the opportunity today.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So you can tell that we are really surrounded by greatness. Our first speaker is going to be Joanna Clear. Joanna Clear is a proud resident from Duarte, California, the city of hope. She is a human first, wife, mother, and a friend. She's also a transformation life coach who always gives people hope from victim to champion. And last but not least, she is mama's and daddy's gracious gift from God. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Joanna Clear.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. I am so happy and I'm so grateful to be able to be here with you guys tonight. During the times in America where there's COVID, there's an election approaching, and there's unrest. There's a lot of death and there's a lot of sickness. And so I want to come to the world today and encourage everyone to look at the positive of things in life. In my life, there's been things that have happened that I did not like, things that were painful. But there's a saying that I came up with when I was at my bottom in 2014. There's only one way to go when you're on the bottom, and that is up. I've had many struggles in my life, but I never let that define me. I have become resilient, and I'm on my way to greatness. I was born great. I was born perfect. I am grateful to be here today. I've given birth to 2 beautiful daughters. I'm married 25 years, and I'm very proud of what I've accomplished. Today, I want to come to you guys to talk to you about meditation, visualization, and motivation. These are things that we lack in a society today. A lot of us are struggling, but we don't have to stay in that place. We can choose to be resilient. We could choose to be great. We can choose to not let those things that bring us down keep us down. Les Brown says that when you fall on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. I come before you today asking you guys to make sure that you think positive, that you have a positive look on life, that you take those things to which were difficult and put them to your advantage and learn from them. Life doesn't happen to you, it actually happens for you. That is one of the reasons why I've become a life coach, because I know what it's like to struggle as a human being. A couple years ago, I learned about meditation. For a very long time, I did not pray. I did not believe in a God. I did not believe in a higher power because of life. Life was a struggle. But now, through meditation, I get to have God, my higher power or source and universe, talk to me and bring me an inner peace that I cannot find within myself. And now I talk to a greater power. I talk to a higher power of my understanding. And those who are suffering out there, understand this, that when you are in meditation, it relaxes you. I work for the grocery industry, and I see a lot of people buying a lot of alcohol and things that will calm them down. But meditation, you can literally calm yourself down within 2 or 3 minutes. There's a lot of free meditations on YouTube for those who are suffering financially. Find one that suits you, find one that gives you peace, find one that it can help you relax. And when you meditate, some meditations will have you visualize what your future is going to be like. There's one that I use. Her name is Danette May. And she taught me how to visualize what I'm doing in the future, what I'm wearing, what I'm talking about, who I'm talking about with it, to how many people, what I'm wearing in great detail once I relax my mind. I did that for a while. And guess what? I ended up on the Power Voice system, one of the top 20 original group of speakers, because I visualized myself doing that very thing in meditation. I told myself I was wearing a red flowy dress, and that's what I wore, a nice, beautiful red flowy dress. I was amongst thousands of people on the internet. I know that speaking remotely is a little bit difficult for people, the fact that they had to redo their whole businesses, and some people lost their businesses. But with modern technology, we have the ability to reach as many people as we can. Also, we have opportunity to make sure that we look at the positive things in life. We are resilient. We are strong. In meditation, you say, I am statements. I am strong. I am powerful. I am great. And then we start believing those things. I come before you today to remind everybody that there is a way to calm yourself down. Go for walks outside, get into nature, eat healthy, clean, high oxygenated food, fruits, vegetables. You can train your mind to think positive through I am statements. It has been proven effective. I want to thank everybody for allowing me to be on this awesome platform, Resiliency to Greatness. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, wow. That was amazing. That was very, very profound. More especially like you've mentioned that like we'll have to go out and get oxygen in our lives. There is a lot going on. Thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing such a powerful message on mindset, meditation, and visualization. So our next speaker will be Jake Fowler. Jake Fowler is an entrepreneur who worked for himself as a plumber in the United Kingdom, which reinforced his character and opened up a whole world of new opportunities in the side hustle business as his interest and income grew. So 5 years ago, he landed in Melbourne, Australia as a qualified and experienced plumber with an unwavering confidence, a clear vision, and a laser focus on achieving his goals. He continued honing his craft as well as expanding his skills as both mentally and physically, whilst consistently remaining focused on living from the inside out, not from the outside in. He is currently writing his story under the title How to Move to the Other Side, of the world and Get Away with It, which tells of his journey anchored by a passion for people and bringing them together, as well as making the most of every situation. Fast forward 5 years, and now he, on his own, he operates multiple successful businesses across the world, as well as inspiring and motivating people from all walks of life. Professionally trained as a public speaker, his story is an entertaining as it is enlightening. It's relatable, and he promises it will help you. He established a framework from which to begin a journey of discovery, success, and most importantly, happiness. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Jake Fowler.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Nompumelelo. And it's a pleasure to be here today. Now, I know I was speaking to Nompumelelo beforehand, and she told me that a lot of the audience here are the younger generation, are millennials, and that's who I love to speak to. I'm a millennial myself, and for that reason, I feel that I'm qualified to speak to you guys. It's almost like I'm speaking to my friends here today. So, as I said to you earlier, I'm joining you from Melbourne, Australia, and it's already 1:45 here in the afternoon on Saturday. So we are in the future, along with Tracy Cook down there at the bottom, who's in Perth. But as you can tell from my accent, I'm not originally from Melbourne. I'm originally from sunny old England, which wouldn't be sunny at this time of year, I can tell you that. And I remember back at school in the days, and that's really where my hustle, my entrepreneurship began. I used to sell chocolate and candy to the other kids on the playground. That's where the hustling started for me. And let me tell you, it got me in a fair bit of trouble. And I got in trouble in various places in school because I didn't really like authority. I didn't really like being told what to do. And I can tell you, I still don't today. And I always remember these signs at school. And I know we're on YouTube here and there's a comment box. So if anyone remembers this sign, give some love in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. They'd always have these little quotes and signs around on the walls that were trying to be profound and get you to learn stuff. And some of them were great, but there was one that always stuck out to me that I remember. And it said, ignorance isn't bliss, it's just ignorance. Anyone remember that sign? Type in the comments if you do. And I never used to believe it. It used to annoy me, it used to rile me up, and I got into trouble discussing it with the teachers, how the statement wasn't true. And we just had to agree to disagree on it. And I think there's many things that in life that our teachers, our friends, our peers, even our parents suggest and give to us that simply aren't correct or accurate. And I think that plays out a lot in the whirlwind of today and what's going on with the pandemic at the moment, with the media and the news, and the fact that we're constantly fed from multiple sources on an infinite amount of information that a lot of it just simply isn't true or accurate. And I think in these times that we're in, there's two battles going on. There's the battle within and there's the battle without. And you're certainly in control of the battle within. And I want to give you a couple of tips today on how to win the battle without, and how to, as I like to speak on often, live from the inside out, not the outside in. So you remember that sign that I told you about? Ignorance isn't bliss. Ignorance is just ignorance. I don't believe that. I actually think ignorance is bliss, and people might think that's quite controversial, but I think it's absolutely true. I think ignorance is bliss, but there's a level of ignorance that you want to maintain, and that's a level of intelligent ignorance. One of my favorite actors, if not in fact my favorite, I'll put it out there, he might even see this one day, and I hope he does, who knows. Denzel Washington, just a brilliant actor. He's brilliant because he doesn't do a bad movie. He's never gone below par. He's never accepted a role that didn't align with who he was and that he knew he could portray. One thing Denzel Washington once said in an interview was that if you read the newspaper, then you're uninformed. Excuse me. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. If you don't read the newspaper, then you're uninformed. And I think that plays out the same whether you're consuming your news via Twitter, via the TV, via your phone, whatever method you want to go with. We've all had a lot of downtime in the pandemic, and it's easy to be consumed by CNN, the constant negative news. Don't know if you knew that's what it stands for, but that's actually what it stands for. And not just that, but all these other media outlets that are coming to us from multiple sources each day. The supply is infinite, and just kind of wearing you down in a way. And I don't believe that it serves you in any way, any of that stuff. And I think what's important to remember is that the media has changed a lot in the past few years. And if you're a millennial like me, kind of in your 20s or 30s, or even slightly younger, perhaps you've always seen it in this way, but the media isn't always truthful these days. The media's angle these days is to be first and to be shocking. Doesn't care who it hurts along the way, doesn't care whose reputation it scuppers along the way, doesn't care what kind of information it puts out that isn't completely and wholly true. It just wants to be first, and it wants to be shocking. And why does it do that? It does that because it gets more sales. It gets more sales. It can ask for more ad money. A lot of this is about money. You have to look behind that curtain. So remember that when you're seeing this stuff from multiple sources. It's first, it's shocking. It's not always accurate. It's not always true. And I think there's a lot of fear mongering that goes on, and it's easy to be consumed by that fear mongering. But fear, to me, fear actually, and again, give some love in the comments if you've ever heard this before. Fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. That's what fear actually is, guys. A lot of this stuff you see isn't perhaps 100% true, isn't perhaps 100% honest. And even if it is, then how does it serve you to constantly receive it and consume it and get caught up in it? And before you know it, it's all you're talking about with people when you are catching up with them, which we're very rarely physically doing in a lot of places around the world at the moment. So when you are, why make that the topic of subject? Why not talk about the things that you really love, that you could be working towards, that you could be actually be maximizing this downtime in, the things that you've wanted to learn for years, that project that you wanted to do, that cake you wanted to bake, that meal you wanted to learn how to cook, that thing you wanted to plant in the garden, that book you wanted to write, that new challenge or chapter of your life that you wanted to get started, that you could actually maximize this downtime with and not waste your time being consumed by this media. So this is what I'm talking about when I say intelligent ignorance. And I think the simple trick is, and it's a simple trick for life, do more of what you do like and what makes you happy, and do less of what you don't like and what makes you unhappy. It's simple enough to say, but it's harder to do. And I just want to leave you with a couple of things here, that it's easy to be controlled by your environment, but really you control your environment. Now that's, again, easy to say and do on the face of it. Or easy to say, sorry folks, but not easy to do. You want to control your environment. You don't want your environment to control you. And what's one of the first ways we could start by doing that is turning the TV off, just having a bit more time away from it. If you have to consume the news, I completely respect that. Some people, the news gives them information that predicates to what they do in their career. You might be in stocks and shares. You might be in real estate or politics, and you need to be aware and consume a certain level of the news to be proficient in what you do. I completely respect that. But I think it's important to pick your source and make that one source. Make sure that source is credible and stick to your source. So pick and stick to your source. Control your environment. Don't let your environment control you. Don't even be woken up by your phone. Buy yourself an alarm clock, put that in your room. Put your phone outside the room. And when you're ready for your phone and everything it brings to you, it's good news, it's bad news, sometimes it's shocking news. Let that be your time to pick and to move forward with. Just because the trouble is, the alarm comes on your phone, then everything else floods through with it. And before you know it, you spent 10 or 20 minutes on the phone looking at Julie's auntie's uncle's dog on Facebook, who you don't even know. And you think, what am I doing here? I've just wasted so much time. So get the alarm clock, keep it outside the room, your phone outside the room. And just try this, folks. So the next week, why don't you try a digital detox? I'm not saying completely stay away from everything digital. Some of us need that to run our lives, and some of us enjoy keeping in touch with our loved ones, which is important in this time. But turn the TV off a little bit more. Maybe delete a few of them apps that are feeding you news almost against your will. And just remember, control your environment. Don't let your environment control you. Thank you, Nompumelelo Melelo, for this opportunity to speak today. I hope I've given you guys, you millennials, a couple of tips to take yourself from resilience through and to greatness. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was amazing. You know, Jake, you just reminded me of this song. It says, the change I want to see must first begin with me. So being controlled by, be the one controlling the environment is what I want to see. That's the change I want to see. That was powerful. Thank you so much, Jake, for such a powerful message. And yes, you've mentioned that we'll have to stay away from all the negative news. Switch off the TV if you have time to switch it off, and focus on something that will build you instead of like killing your spirit. So be the one in charge of your driver's seat. Be the one who is controlling the environment that you're in. Be the change in that environment that you're in. That was powerful. Thank you. Absolutely. So our next speaker is Tracy Cook. Tracy Cook is a high energy, unique and engaging speaker who tells stories to inspire and create, transform. She has traveled the world and spoken in many, many platforms, and has extensive knowledge on master NLP techniques and also life coaching strategies to go from I don't know what to do to it's a wonderful feeling to achieve success. Tracy passionately believes that when you master your mindset, you master your health and abundance. Her passion and purpose is to reach out to as many people as possible and to let them know that it's okay to tell their stories, how to tell it, and how to find the courage to overcome to create success in your life, whatever that looks like to you. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Tracy Cook.
Thank you very much for that absolutely wonderful welcome. I'm very grateful to be here amongst all of you today. And I am every reason, Nompumelelo, to not be a success. I come from a background of childhood sexual abuse, domestic violence, addiction, homelessness, overcoming cancer, and major surgery complications. I am every single reason not to be a success. So in 2019, I was on a reality show in the US for entrepreneurs, and we all were interviewed by the hosts. This was very uncomfortable. This was very disturbing to me that everyone was sharing their stories publicly. And I held back because I'd never, ever told my story. And during the filming of this series, I was actually listening to a Tony Robbins YouTube clip, and he said, the only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. And I thought about this, and these words really hit home. And it was very obvious to me that people needed to tell their stories. It was very obvious to me that people were showing strength and courage and overcoming vulnerability by telling their story. Now, a lot of us associate vulnerability with weakness. It shows a lack. And I think that's just society's take on it. I firmly and passionately believe that you can have strength through vulnerability. And I think it takes so much courage to tell your story publicly. When people are telling their stories, it creates a connection, a relationship, it builds rapport. It is also very, very freeing to be able to be your true, authentic self, to be able to step into your story, show courage through your vulnerability, and be the real you. The people that will appreciate and connect with your story, they will be your supporters. They will advocate for you. And those that don't, they're still holding back. Those that aren't encouraging people to step into their stories, to go from where they've been, how they've overcome, how they're still overcoming, and where their journey is going to help others, they're probably still saying to themselves, I'm too old, or I don't have enough experience, or somebody else has already done this. And that's probably self-limiting beliefs. Now, I've been on a journey, like many, many others, of personal and professional development, of trying to tell my story in such an authentic way that I can connect with people, that I can build communication beyond the sale in a business. Who are you when you stand behind your story? That is your brand. Your story is your brand, and your brand is your story. And these are just a couple of examples of self-limiting beliefs. I suffered from self-limiting beliefs for so long, like many of our society. And it can prevent you so much from achieving your goals or your business in your life. And there are plenty of more self-limiting beliefs out there. And you probably have one or a few of them. You're probably admitting to some and probably not admitting to a lot of them, like we all do, until it's time, or we get that diagnosis or that prognosis or that life-changing sliding door moment that pushes us to step into our authenticity. And again, our story is our brand, and our brand is our story. And more importantly, we'll go through the process of identifying and overcoming our own limiting beliefs. And how we do that is by supporting others in their journey, and others support us in ours. Acceptance, empowerment, support, and overcome communication. We have to meet people where they are, at their desire levels. And if you've been trying to reach your certain goals and you've been failing, and I use that term very, very loosely, it could just be that you're not addressing your self-limiting beliefs. And what's worse, you may not be even aware, like I was in 2019, sitting on a reality show, being filmed, trying to tell my story that I'd never told anybody. It's very hard to do. But I tell you what, it is so freeing when you actually do it. And if you are a person that is holding on to those beliefs and you think that they're private, for a lot of you, it may be generational, it may be private. I'm in my mid-50s, I'm a wife, a mum, and nana. And I can tell you it's more freeing and liberating to tell your true story and step into your story and show your true vulnerability. That will help free you from your self-limiting beliefs. Then you can go and heal and do the work to overcome, to go to the other side and show others how you're actually doing that as well. So stepping forward in accepting your self-limiting beliefs, stepping forward with what's important to you, and starting by looking on your inner self, your inner critic, that is how you can actually overcome. You can go from anything where you've been victimized or traumatized, and you can actually, and this sounds weird for a lot of people, embrace that and thank that story for making you who you are. Every day, no matter how tragic my story is, I embrace my story because it made me who I am today. It gave me characteristics and personality traits and self-development tools and resources that I needed to find my purpose. So by addressing your self-limiting beliefs, by truly digging deep and listening to those inner critics, by addressing each one every step of the way, and here's the biggest thing, and this is the thing that will be holding you back, and if it is, please pop it into our chat. Are you just not thinking that you are enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not appreciated? Please pop it in the chat, put your hands up. If you're feeling this, if you're feeling like you are not worthy, then you have not addressed your self-limiting beliefs. That is what's holding you back, because as the great Les Brown says, you have the greatness within you. We all do. But the graveyard is the most expensive place on earth, because that's where our dreams and our hopes go to die. That's where our legacies lie if we don't address our self-limiting beliefs and get to the core of why we're thinking we're not worthy. This is why there are so many dreams that die with us. The music dies inside of us because we're holding on to that fear. We're holding on to that self-limiting belief that is stopping us from stepping into our greatness. And it all starts with your story. We believe what we are taught as children, and our parents have just done the best that they can do. And nobody is to blame. We can't always write the beginning chapters of our book, but we can definitely write the ending chapters of our book. And my message to you today, I challenge you to look inside, identify your self-limiting beliefs, put your hand up, get to work, do it step by step. And this is what will shape you as mothers, as wives, as husbands, as brothers, as sisters, as cousins. This is what will shape you. Your brand is your story, and your story is your brand. And the only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. So stop being in denial. This is a truth bomb. This is your wake-up call, because you are worthy, you are appreciated, and don't go to that graveyard with the dreams still inside of you, because you're not serving anybody, and your legacy will thank you for it. So address those self-limiting beliefs, get to your core beliefs, and step into your story. Figure out who you are and go and do it on purpose, because I know you can. Thank you very much today, everybody.
Wow, wow, that was powerful. Your brand is your story, and just step into your greatness. This is so profound, Tracy. That was amazing. Now you've mentioned all of the reasons why we should be telling our stories, really. Like you've mentioned that the brand is our stories, and we shouldn't go into the graveyard before fulfilling the purpose that you are here for, like to help one another, to rise with one another. I think I saw the post on Joanna, that we rise by lifting each other up. So there you go. Tell your story so that the world can gain. And you've also mentioned the power of stories for authentic business connections. Wow. Thank you so much, Tracy. So I am going to be the next speaker for tonight. I'm the last speaker for tonight, and my name is Nompumelelo, but some call me Riel. And yeah, if you struggle with my first name, because I know it's like a hymn somehow. So my name is Nompumelelo Riel Kunene. I am an energetic professional speaker. I am also the author to Rise to Greater Heights book, which is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success. I am also a mentor coach, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness, because I believe that we are in full control of our own choices. So my title, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As I wear many hats as a certified sales manager, esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for odds, following my dreams, it gave me to see my goals through and gave me it gave me a purpose to understand that I have everything around me to reach my full potential. So my everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. Knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can make your dreams come true today. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27, and Psalms 40, they keep me to rise to greater heights. So to our viewers online, please feel free if you have any questions for any of the speakers tonight to put in the chat box, and then we'll attend to your questions at the end of the podcast. But before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you with a raise of hand can say that, Nompumelelo, I have never, ever complained in life? Never, ever complained in life. Okay, seemingly I am in the right platform here, because sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Oh, the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Oh, the movie was really disappointing. You name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting. And it gives excuses time to procrastinate from achieving goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It is always much easier to complain than to find solutions. And individuals who are on a regular basis, they are apt to have a bad health. So next time we'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes? Yet they're round. And funny enough, they are cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah? Please write this down. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. Honestly, I've seen the approach to adversity that it plays out in all walks of life, and realize that the resilience is truly the signature of greatness. Every great leader worth their salt were once resilient. And you may ask why? Because stories of struggle often become lessons in how to stay strong. Like Oprah Winfrey says, turn your wounds into wisdom. Turn your wounds into wisdom. So these great leaders, they believed in a cause bigger than themselves and were persistent in order to achieve their goals. They defined themselves by impact and difficult challenges, but have been able to overcome them. If I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals maybe that you want to achieve in the next 6 months? I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this in the chat box. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights. Because honestly, entrepreneurship is a journey full of learnings and many bumps along the way. But finding our cause is the main aim of life, with a healthy dose of resilience. There is something admirable about people who keep going. No matter what obstacles they face, they have resilience to succeed, which is the fuel we need to get through the hard times or the hard days. I so wish that you can tell yourself that, you know what? As 2020 begins, I'll have to make a difference. I'll have to make a difference to those around me, to those who look at me as an inspiration. But in order for you to make that difference in your life, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like the hungry lion in the jungle. You know, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All what the lion sees in front of his face is lunch. Lunch to that lion. And it's so funny because even with the elephants, when they see a lion, they just told themselves that I am a lunch to that lion. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. So I believe that that's the mindset that we need for our resilience to greatness. So tonight I'm going to share 5 keys to focus on to develop a greater level of resiliency. You know, as flight attendants always say that, put on your oxygen mask first before you assist the next person next to you. Because if you don't, you and the other person could possibly go down. So I believe that you need these 5 key points from resiliency to greatness. Point number 1, you have to learn from discomfort. Learn from discomfort. When you are going through tough times, it is easy to lose your cool. But I believe that we need to learn from the most difficult times to get to our greatness, and rethink what's required to be successful in life. You also have to be willing to create resilience. And you may ask me, how can I do that? Because most of our challenges will cause us to grow in some way. So learning to deal with and address adversity is what creates resiliency. You also have to stay committed to what matters the most to you. There's a lot of things happening around you, but you'll have to commit yourself to what matters to you. Our struggles can often put things in better perspective, and overcoming such adversity is a character building. You also need to build external resources. If I say that because adversity helps us to find a body, we need people for our emotional and mental support. So build those external resources. And also don't accept it. We will never rise higher than the expectations we have for ourselves if we accept that adversity is inevitable. So don't ever accept that adversity is inevitable. So I believe that this is a wake-up call. All of the speakers have shared their nuggets, but this is a wake-up call, good people. This is a wake-up call for you to rise from those difficult situations to your greatness. But if the alarm clock goes off, don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I'll wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and rise to greater heights? Because resilience is the very essence of each of our greatness. And it is the learning that comes from it that creates the opportunity for growth. It can bring out your best or your worst, but it's from these places where you grow the most. You really don't have to see the whole staircase, but you'll have to take the first step to get to the top. From the beginning of time until now, people have been grasping for greatness. So in order for us to go from bottom of the stairs to the top, we need to take the first step. Greatness, it comes from depending entirely from God or your creator or whatsoever you believe in. It comes from there. Because my everyday book, it says that the stone that the builders rejected has become the capstone. The stone that the builders rejected has become the capstone. So you can see that God takes the least of men and makes them great. But if we try to become great through our own efforts, we will eventually fail. Greatness in Jesus' eyes is serving the needs of others. This is the true path to greatness, by blessing the lives of many others around you. As I've said that, you'll have to write this down, resilience to greatness. If I can be honest with you, I don't know what dreams you have for your future. But here's one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters. And some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has a better plan for every one of us. Your objective is what you're designed for and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we are all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gifts and following God's idea will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, and what books will die with you? And he also continued that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the goals, all the visions have been buried. I really don't know about you, but with me listening to this message, it just gave me sleepless nights. And I am so proud to introduce Rise to Greater Heights book before you. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears, thank you, into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant, good people, to have a positive mindset, especially under this pandemic. So this book has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. By the way, Les Brown, he wrote the foreword in this book in case you get it. And you can get this book for your family member or your loved one who just need that inspiration to face the world with a positive mindset. And you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, mental health, emotional intelligence, resilience to greatness, single parenting, spiritual growth, and many, many more topics that you will be interested in. And I also have a free guide for you if you'll be interested that will turn your fears into greater success in order for you to rise to greater heights from the resilience to greatness. So you can get the free guide from my website. It's www.risetogreaterheights.com. Because, you know, growing up, I didn't have much because my dad decided to have an early departure on this planet Earth. But I had everything because of my mama's love. And I love you, Mom. So I think whosoever say that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Nompumelelo Riel Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are at the end. We're at the end of the podcast, and thank you so much, amazing speakers. So at this moment, please feel free to share your final thoughts on resilience to greatness. And you can also share on how our viewers can be in touch with you and what service they can benefit from you. And if you have any free offer, this is the time that you can just share with our viewers who are watching us online. Anyone can just jump in.
Hi, this is Joanna again. I'm so delighted to be here with everybody. I just want to say that I'm on Facebook, Joanna Bricker Clyer, hashtag from victim to champion. And of course, I'm so happy to wake up every day. I didn't always feel that way. There's a lot of people out there that wake up not wanting to live. But I just want to tell you guys, just make sure that you change your mindset. You go into gratitude. When you open your eyes in the morning, you just say, I'm grateful to be alive today. Never give up. There are people that care about you. And I did go from resilience to greatness because I am courageous. And you guys are courageous too as well. I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be on here with you. I appreciate everybody in the world and I want peace for all of you. Thank you.
I'll go next that's the order in which we appear to, it seems fair. I spend most of my time online on my Instagram profile. It's fun, it's colorful. I share everything about what I'm doing with my life, my business, my podcasts, my workouts. And of course, I like to speak and spread positive messages on there too. So if you are on Instagram, you can find me. It's right there by my name, Jake Hero 7. I'm just going to leave you with one thing, guys. One simple thing. Do more of the things that make you happy in life and less of the things that don't. It's that simple. And when you keep life simple, it's a lot easier. Thank you very much for the opportunity today. It's great to speak to you all. Much love.
Resilience to Greatness is a great platform, and I'm very honoured and grateful to be amongst all of you today. I'm going to leave the audience with a message of figure out who you are and do it on purpose. It's easy for some, it's not so easy for most, but figure out who you are and do it on purpose, and you'll find resilience to your greatness in that message. You can find me on Facebook and now on the new app Clubhouse at Tracy Cook, where I host speaking sessions around building your brand around your story as well. So please reach out, and you have the greatness within you. Thank you.
Pamela, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. So to our viewers online, thank you so much for joining us today at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to rise to greater heights. Join us next week at the same time, same place. And thank you so much. Merci, Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as